Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Welcome to our exclusive one-on-one interviews with company executives sharing insights into their unique journey. I'm your host, Ashley Berry, and we at Global One Media are thrilled you're joining us. Joel Freudman, CEO and Director at TRU Precious Metals, is here with us today. The company is exploring for gold and copper in the highly prospective Central Newfoundland Gold Belt. They're listed on the TSXV as TRU, the OTCQB as TRUIF, and the Frankfurt Exchange as 706. Joel, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Ashley. Glad to be here as always.
Always a pleasure. So, Joel, your pursuit of lucrative opportunities, which has eventually led to the acquisition of your current assets, is certainly inspiring. Perhaps you could elaborate on the process of identifying and securing these exploration properties, and really what kind of key factors drove you towards their acquisition.
So anyone familiar with TRU has heard of our flagship Gold and Rose project. That's the key asset, the key property in the company. It's in Central Newfoundland. The one-liner is we're between two major gold deposits. It's very hard to find a property like that to begin with. And so again, we're beside a company called Marathon Gold, 5 million ounces of gold in a technical resource. They're building a mine. They're going to be pouring gold in about a year and a half. And on the other side of us, a company called Matador Mining, hundreds of thousands of ounces of gold. So, location. Our project's in an ideal location. That's how we kind of identified it. But actually acquiring it is kind of interesting because we leveraged some contacts we had with Altius Minerals, which is a $1 billion TSX listed company who's very sophisticated at finding these kind of properties. And they optioned this to us back in early 2021. And so we got an initial property package from them, and kind of drawing on my transactional legal background, we bought all the land around it. I thought, if this is a development play, we want to own all the real estate. So we bought all the properties from small landowners in the area. We consolidated the land package. That is part of the acquisition story and strategy. And then finally, we exercised our option early, about a year and a half early, actually, with Altius and some other landowners, to the point where we own 100% of almost everything at Gold and Rose, except for a couple of pockets that are under a separate option agreement, which itself required a negotiation. So it's pretty interesting property consolidation play.
Yeah, it sounds very promising. Perhaps maybe you could walk us through the historical exploration work conducted on those properties specifically, with the understanding that, of course, you're in the pre-resources stage.
Yeah, so that's right. So we don't have a resource yet. We're kind of advanced exploration. So there are some known targets on the property. Some of the most interesting ones, there's one called Marks Pond. We discovered high-grade gold there late last year, really good numbers in channel sampling. So it's a pretty high degree of confidence as to what's there as a starting point. So that's the Marks Pond target. We have a Jacobs Pond target as well, where we discovered high-grade copper and high-grade silver in drilling earlier in 2022. We didn't know either of those minerals existed on the property. So, that's a great find too. And then we have another area called the Woods Lake Gold Zone, which is also, we hit gold in drilling when we first acquired the property about 3 years ago. And prior to that, there had been some drilling at the Woods Lake Gold Zone and at the Marks Pond Gold Zone. So we had some ideas of where to look, but we're really focused on expanding the known gold areas and certainly building a grassroots pipeline, because there hadn't really been as much historical work as you might expect on a property like this. So there's a lot of discovery lying ahead for us, and we've started to prove we're able to execute in delivering discoveries.
Right. So, okay, you talk about these great finds, breaking that down for, say, potential investors. What does it mean for the company and for shareholders?
If you're investing in a company at this stage, because we're a pre-resource or advanced exploration, you're really looking for the potential for a multiple on your investment driven by discovery. It's typically through drilling, although you can do other things like the channel sampling we've been doing. Those things can certainly move the market. And you're really looking for a company to find a big discovery where you can start thinking, is there deposit potential? Could this be mineable down the road? We're not at that stage yet. Interestingly, the further you get down that road, the more kind of difficult it can become to do the actual putting a mine into place. And so that's where you may have less appreciation potential. What's really exciting about our stage of development is you get a few good drill holes or even a few good channel sample results, and you have the potential to open up significant discovery or resource potential type of discoveries those can really move the needle for the share price and the company's trajectory in terms of its development and its acquisition appeal.
Excellent. So, obviously the key to success is partnerships, community support. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the community support in facilitating your operations on these properties. Are you gaining good support from the community? And, to what extent do these factors contribute to your overall success?
It is important in Newfoundland to have some community buy-in, just like other jurisdictions around the world and in Canada. What's, I guess, somewhat fortunate is our Golden Rose project isn't near any major population centers. So we certainly don't have anything like community opposition, which is a good starting point because that can be a real impediment. And you obviously have to respect the community stakeholders. So that's much less of a consideration for TRU and our Golden Rose project. We do have, I guess, buy-in from the nearby small communities in the sense we've hired people from those communities. So we had geos on the team and field service people from Millertown, Buckins, Burgeo. Like some of these are very small communities, 1,000, 2,000 people, not in the vicinity of the project. They're maybe an hour's drive away. That's kind of as close as you get for population centers. But we've still hired personnel on our exploration team from those cities or towns, really. And so that's kind of played into, we are an employer in the community, which I think is great for a company of our size and stage of development. And we also have a great relationship with the provincial government too, which is useful because they are, of course, a key stakeholder in any exploration and development work.
Excellent point. So not only government support, but also community support. I would say, obviously, that is key. Let's talk about some upcoming milestones that we should anticipate from TRU.
So the main milestones on the exploration front, which is what people are looking forward to, is we very recently put out some news, an update on our trenching program at our Marks Pond target, which again was the high-grade gold target. Some very exciting things we're starting to see, even though it's an early stage in advancing and expanding that target. We're kind of seeing gold everywhere. So, take a look at our press release from June 7th. In terms of upcoming milestones, we still have to finish that program. We have to get lab results back. So that's going to roll out over the next couple of weeks and months. And then ultimately what we're setting up to do is a drill program probably later this summer at Marks Pond. And that's where, tying back to some of my earlier answers, that's where you get this kind of opportunity to really blow the roof off on a discovery. And so that's really the major upcoming milestone. But we can't just sit there and rely on, an eventual drill program. I'm also working on a number of exciting things on the corporate front, transactional opportunities. And so I would certainly hope that we have some news on some of those opportunities over the summer, because those can also be catalysts for the company and the stock.
Excellent. Any final words or messages for shareholders, potential shareholders, anybody watching who's not really familiar with the company but is considering investing?
Yeah, I think, it's summer can be a seasonal lull period. I know sometimes people aren't sure whether they should invest in exploration juniors. I think what differentiates TRU, and I would encourage everyone, whether or not you invest, put TRU on your watch list and just kind of follow TRU relative to some of the other juniors in your portfolio and get a sense of, is this company executing? Is management credible? Are they actually delivering on things that they say they're going to do? Because that to me is a key differentiator for TRU, is we execute the plan. If we're putting out guidance on our exploration program, on the corporate milestones, we do our best to deliver. And so make a decision for yourself as an investor or simply, a market participant. Keep an eye on our news flow, see how active we are, and then make your decisions accordingly. I think that will, over time, will certainly set TRU apart from many of the rest of the field.
Joel Freudman, CEO and Director at TRU Precious Metals. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for sharing these impressive insights and little teasers coming up later this summer. We at Global One look forward to sharing more with our audience.
Thanks, Ashley. Great to be here.